What's your full name?
You want my full name?
I want your full name.
I'll give you my true name.
Okay.
It's Barbara Carroll. It went on the floor if you were looking for it.
Oh, nope, I was just, I'm checking to make sure we're recording.
Barbara Carroll, Maynard. And I've only been married twice. Hilliard. And he was the best guy. He was even better than my dad.
I remember you telling me that you were luckily married to the best guy.
Yep.
And
so that's him up there. Top picture.
Well,
that picture.
We'll make sure we get pictures of him in there with you. Do you know where your parents came up with your name?
My dad had a crush on Barbara Stanwyck.
So, you said you were born in Hudson. Did you grow up there?
I've been in every state you can think of.
Have you really?
Yeah.
As a child?
Yeah.
Why did you guys move so much?
Probably had something to do with her getting remarried. He came over to my grandmother's, or he was the boarder. My stepfather was a boarder for Mom, I mean, for my grandma Murphy. And, are any of Grandma Murphy's kids up there? I'll have to think, I can't.
That's fine.
And, we moved to Battle Creek. And when we moved to Battle Creek, I was just a toddler. And Mom liked to go out and do bowling and, do the, all the dances that were at the Crayson. And she was a wonderful dancer.
Was she?
So was Aunt Marion. But Aunt Marion and her husband each had an airplane when we, now see, they stayed in Hudson. And I went back to Hudson to see my cousins and everything and be with them. So I fell in love with airplanes. And
I bet.
And they had I won't say they had a farm, but they had a hen house so they could have fresh eggs for breakfast. And the eggs, not the fruits. And and then they'd go up and fool around like Mom liked to used to fool around, and they'd go flying, and I went flying, and I said, oh, wow. So I was watching, and he would show, and at that time it was, now they have wheels that you can do everything with, but then it was a stick or a rudder.
Okay.
And I loved to fly. And when I went back to, when Dad and Mom divorced, we moved back to Hudson.
You flew.
I flew. We had a, oh, come on, Barb. I have all this written down because I do forget things.
You are fine.
We had a 172 airplane. That's called a whatever, blah, 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 172.
Okay, it's the size or whatever it's called.
Yep, and it's called it, yeah, 172 was it. And I joined the, we had a women's club in Hudson, flying club, and we fly to Battle Creek, and we fly to we flew to Sandusky, Ohio.
So you were the actual pilot.
Yeah.
You weren't just the rider.
No, we girls, and then we would have to pick up tags. We'd come back and see who had the best poker hand or
like a
whatever
poker
like
run,
that.
but in planes. Oh, that's fun.
And it was fun. I really don't have a bad memory as far as from there on. And then I got married the first time, and he was from Oregon. We were out on the Pacific coast, and I met him, and I thought he was just wonderful. Well, he was. He still is wonderful in my heart of hearts. And then some other cousins that are out this way that have all moved back to Florida and what have you. And I wouldn't change a thing. But the kids,
Well, we'll jump to the kids. Let's talk about you as a kid. So you said you moved around a lot. Did you stay in like one elementary school for any amount of time?
I was in Battle Creek Elementary School, and that's where my stepfather was, in that area. And we go to Kalamazoo, we go here and we go there. And the flying club. That was more fun than a barrel of monkeys that have just found out, oh, this could be fun.
This is amazing.
Anyway, my brother could roll his eyes and imitate him pretty good. But I used to be really upset with one of my youngest sons, Stephen, over here in this last picture. He would walk up to any wild animal, and just start petting it. And I said, Steve. He says, Mom. And I kept doing this, Mom. And then one of the guys that had a show every year, here we call it a home. They sell homes and home furnishings and everything here, and I can't remember the name of it because I'm just flustered and I can't remember. And they would the girls and I, and their husbands also flew, but they had their own club.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they come back and gamble and things like that. And the strongest drink I drank was a beer once in a while. But then they came up with all these diet things, and hey, they're not too bad. And see the little Scotty dog there? I drew that because I remembered our neighbor across the street in one house down had a Scotty dog, and she would put it in the basket of her bike, go pedaling around the neighborhood.
Oh.
And I thought that was so cute.
That is cute.
And I had a name for him, and I don't remember that. Might be on the back of it, but he's taped to the thing, so I'm not gonna.
We don't want to rip it off.
No.
Did you and your brother get in trouble at all when you were little?
No, because we both knew our mother and dad's temper.
So you were good kids?
Yeah, we were.
Sometimes I get funny stories about mischief that people got into with their siblings.
Well, when we moved to Milan, Michigan, we had a corral of bunnies for meat, for our meat. And when I saw that guy, someone said, well, why he got his feet brown? And I said, because he would run around in the mud.
Oh, okay.
And he'd have it on his feet. But he was quite a character, too. And we had a couple of cats. That's where that black cat and that cat is gray, but it's the same picture of the same cat. And my dad could be so gentle. And when Mom would lose her temper, no, it was Edith, because she lived next door to us. Edith would lose her temper and yell at me, and your mom's nothing but a, never mind. And I'd start crying, and Dad would come in and put his arm around me and pull me up to him. Hold me, he says, honey, she and Carolyn are just jealous. I said, well, she doesn't have to call you names. And, oh, there was, it was Edith. Maybe that's the other reason she didn't like me. She and Dad was, I thought, wrestling on the ground in the house. And she was screaming and screaming. I went over and hit Dad on the head with a shoe. I said, don't do that to her. And he said, that's when he grabbed me and picked me up, and she was just spouting another spout. I learned that's the best way to do things. It's just, if he can't take it and he can't figure out what to do to put them to ease, and let them go.
Right.
And anyway, I spent a lot of time in Battle Creek. I guess kindergarten through 6th grade.
So yeah,
and then in the high school I was in, of course Mom worked for Post. We were never hungry. We always had food. Guy across the street worked at Post. And the lady down the street was German. She'd make these big, I'm sure they were weight bearing. I'll say scones for lack of a better word. Again, I've been through so many people, so many places, and we moved to this city named Milan, Michigan. And Milan is where I graduated from Williston High School in Milan, Michigan. And some of us still keep in touch.
Oh, that's
and every
cool.
once in a while, the one from Williston calls us and wants us to come and visit and what have you, which is nice.
What year did you graduate?
No. I mean, even now.
Right, I was wondering what year you graduated.
58.
So 58. So
And
it'd be like your 70th reunion or 75 years. That'd be 65.
I'll find my well, maybe I won't, but
So
I have a picture. I have a thing that I found that I was going to put with Henry and me, because it said I graduated on Tuesday, and on Thursday I went into the Air Force.
The same week?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
And I went in the Air Force.
So were you already flying planes with your aunt and uncle before you even graduated high school?
Oh,
So
yeah.
That was your passion even as a teenager.
When I go to Hudson, we'd go. Well, as I said, we had a ladies' club.
Well, I was thinking that was when you were an adult, but you were just a
No.
kiddo.
Nope.
That's pretty neat.
The idea is, if something happens to a pilot, they teach you enough that you can get it down safely.
What do you think is your best memory of childhood?
My best memory of childhood. Well, I had a boyfriend when I was living in Williston. And I don't know, because of my little episode with my stepfather, I was a little afraid of him. But we are still, people from Williston still get together. And they said, we're going down to the lake, we're going to the blah, blah, blah. I had an invitation Oh, that's his cremation. I had an invitation. We're going to meet down at the blah, 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 and bring your best dish that you want to bring. And we go out and have a picnic and just have old time fun. And the people that used to smoke, they don't anymore. I've noticed that when I've gone.
A lot of people have quit smoking. They found, I mean, when you were growing up, they didn't realize just how bad it was for you.
No, and my stepmother and dad
Did they smoke?
smoked and drank.
Yeah. Well,
Say, it was nice to meet you.
hello, sweetheart. What's your bear's name?
Theodore.
Good name.
Teddy.
Yeah, that's what their name came from. Theodore
Teddy
Roosevelt.
Yeah. And what happened to him? Well, oh, Scott got him when he was in the service. And my brothers, you want the names of my brothers? See if I can remember 'em.
Yeah, see if you can remember 'em.
There's me and David Scott and Sherry Lynn. No, yeah, wait. I'm missing somebody. Me, Scott. Well, Carolyn, but Carolyn was a stepsister, and I don't know where she is or if she's alive. And we have a lot of cousins. Luella. Oh, Luella. It was Aunt Marion and Luella and our Uncle Ivan and who did I say?
Luella.
Luella I didn't say then.
Oh, no, you didn't originally.
Anyway, you got it somewhere.
I do have it recorded.
Luella was their daughter. Anne and Luella was their daughter.
Oh, that's a pretty name.
Anne was one and Luella was the other. And they both were tall and they were redheads.
I love redheads.
And so apparently somewhere in the Hunt, and not the Maynard, but the Hunt area, there were a lot of redheads. And they became very well known and liked. When did he say they were going to play?
He said that they wait for you, so...
Oh, they said something about 3:30, I thought.
Oh, then we have a half hour. We'll be done by then. So, okay, we did through high school, so you graduated on Tuesday. And did you go into the Air Force?
That's what I was looking for. I just found it the other day.
Well, we can look when we're done talking, because I'll take pictures, but I want to get you to the Wii game. But so you went in the Air Force on Thursday, so you were just 18 when you joined there. And how long were you in the Air Force?
For 3 years, 2 or 3 years. And that's where I met my first husband. And he was quite a drinker too, and what have you. And he caroused around with the girls, but I think he's gone.
Oh.
They said don't go looking for him because he isn't here.
So you guys got divorced?
Yeah.
Did you have children with him? With your first husband?
No.
All of your kids were with your second husband?
With my first husband. Yes, a Maynard.
Oh.
Krista was one of the girls. Sherry was one of the girls. Or was it just happenstance because of the interconnection here with families? And Luella and her husband Jim were neat people. And they love to, they're the one that had all the acreage between Anne and Luella's Uncle Ivan and Aunt, didn't I say her name?
Mm-hmm. Now you did. Between the 2 times you said Luella.
Well, no,
Was it Aunt Mary?
Luella was my cousin.
Was her mom Mary? Was that your Aunt Mary that's
No,
in the
no.
picture behind me?
Aunt Mary, and their last name was Michael.
Oh, okay, not the same aunt.
And her husband, it was married, and Richard, or Dick, everyone called him Dick. And everybody thought that was so funny. Marion and Michael had the his and her planes. And that's where I got hooked. But I didn't get my license until I was like 14 or 15.
And you could get an airplane license then. I would have thought you had to be an adult.
You fly a plane from here to there, get it in.
Oh, I would love to learn. It just tells you how different the times are because you can't even get a driver's license when you're 14.
I did when I was 15.
Yeah.
And the day after I graduated, though, it says right in there, Miss Maynard, blah, blah, blah. She is the daughter of, and it gives my stepdad's name, and Eula Passmore. Oh, and he is the one that was Grandma Maynard's boarder.
Oh, that's right. That's how they met. So you met your first husband in the military when you were in the Air Force.
In 1937 in Oregon City. I couldn't think of Oregon City to save my soul. Remembered Oregon, but
Just which city?
he later lived in Astoria and served in the Air Force. Moved to Portland in early 1970 and was discharged and was district crew leader for the Northwest Natural Gas. In 1959, he divorced. In 1993, he married Barbara, and they had crew. They didn't even spell Carol right, so I've written it in. Maynard. Survivor includes his wife, a daughter, Carrie Canals, son, James A. Hilliard, Krista Klaus, Sherry, would have been Klaus, Sandell, stepsons Carl and Stephen Sandell, mother Edith, brother Louis E. Jr., and 20 grandchildren. That was with Henry, my last, so far only husband.
Well, do you have plans to get married again?
No, not right now.
Then he'll probably be your last.
Who knows? And then, I wish I could find that.
Well, we'll look when we're not recording because I don't want to make you talk. We'll just be able to snoop around. But so, how long were you married to your first husband? I'm just doing a lifetime.
Probably about 11 years.
11 years. And then you got a divorce.
No, I didn't do. Oh, my first husband.
You're fine.
Lord,
then.
how long was I married to him? We were back in Concord. We moved to Concord, and that's where I met. No, that's where I graduated from the Concord High School. Williston High School, which is adjacent. It's like right here in these two cities here.
Uh-huh.
The kids are from both schools.
Okay.
Williston High School is when I graduated from. And it was probably the size of Spokane. And that's when they had we would have these, what do you call them? You told me earlier and I forgot. We'd fly here and find
poker
something.
run. A poker run.
Poker run.
Yep.
We'd come back, and the guys that were in the service and also, or had been in the service, also as part of our flying group, out of there, said, "I know my wife's backside from down the block. But you know, they were a loving couple, all of them.
Yeah.
They all, as far as I know, had good marriages.
That's good.
And there was, tough part was some of them died from this silly thing that they used to snort and do all this with.
Right.
And when I found this thing about me, I thought, oh, gee, Hank.
So when did you meet Hank?
Oh, after I moved to moved out. Well, I guess we moved up to Oregon. Eugene.
Eugene? I like Eugene.
I moved to Eugene and lived with my mother and my mother and my, yes, and that's where I told you all the mothers ran the same thing. What did I say?
And you met Hank in Eugene? You met him at the airport? In Eugene, or where at?
At one of the doings.
Oh, okay.
There was all the
Just a
schools
group
had
of-
their little doings, you know. Oh God, he is such a sweet man. But again, I wouldn't change it because I did have all these adventures and meet all these people. Worked in a doctor's office for 30 years. I could stitch a person up as fast as anybody.
Were you a nurse? Or a medical
I
assistant?
went to Mount Hood College
Uh-huh.
and got my degrees in X-ray and a degree in, God, I can't think. Boy, have I put them out. I wish I knew where I had all my scrapbooks at, because I got all that stuff in it. But if I find out and I trip across you again,
I'm here every couple of weeks. I'm going to
Okay.
try to do interviews with everybody in the building. So
Oh,
yes,
good,
if
good.
you find them, we can definitely put them in.
and okay, well, we'll get a hold of you because I know I got it handy because I
Oh.
wanted to put this and his together. His was from out here, Oregon City, and
So is that where you and Hank lived, was
no,
Oregon?
no. Well, wait a minute. I've been here for quite a few years because this is where I in Oregon City. Yeah, Oregon City is where Hank was from, and a lot of their family or their schoolmates from Oregon City we bypass once in a while, but they have a class reunion every year, and I try to go, but I can't always go.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel.
And I don't have any kids to raise,
That is
but
nice.
I worked for Dr. Don Walker for 28 years. And Dr. Walker and Dr. Blumenthal. And I stayed with the two of them for a couple more years. And then I married this heartthrob. It wasn't. So it's an Oregon City area. And I think the best part of my life has been with Hank and with my cousins and my aunts and uncles and both grandmothers. And I had a great time. I love that quilt she has.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I think she said her daughter made it or something.
Somebody did it. It's crocheted.
Yeah.
So I won't keep asking you too many questions, but can I have 3 more? What's the best adventure you ever had?
the best adventure I ever had
Mm-hmm.
was going out with the girls and the planes to these different cities, and it was just us girls. And getting whatever we were going to look for and bringing it back. And giving them to our husbands.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to pick up, because we were going to other airports. You had to pick up a coin to prove you were there
Oh, okay.
and that sort of thing, and then fly to the next one.
Yeah, I'm sure you had lots of fun.
I mean, it was, but they were working me to be a
Trainer.
basic trainer,
Mm-hmm.
and I never did become that.
Oh, okay.
But I did go through the whole stuff, and they quizzed me on everything I did. And I had what's this? I had a couple people that's my chair over there. Wonder if I put that in the back. This is Hilliard. Well, if I find it, the other one, I will.
Yeah, we can always. We have like 3 videos in front of this to edit, so we have a little time if you find things. So my second question is, what advice would you like to give to your kids and grandkids?
I've already told them every single one.
You want to
Well,
tell
the
them
gr-
again so that it's recorded and they can hear it even when you're gone?
This is my bingo money.
Good, you always need bingo money.
What did I do? Well, I worked for a doctor in Milwaukee for about 20 years. Excuse me.
You're
First time for
No,
had allergies all my life.
yeah.
Was stung by a bee or stung by some bees, and I think that's when I got to know this place,
Yeah.
and I think it had something to do with COVID then. Now see, this is what I do. I fill the can up with a all the waste tissue, and throw it into the waste basket, and I don't know where it goes from there, but I heard someone say, "Ooh, that looks terrible." I thought, well, if you don't like it, don't look at it.
It's just the tissue.
And I'm going to move one of the things over here because I'm getting down to the last of my Coke or my Pepsis in here.
So you want some more.
Those are 3 cases of it. And I've gone through almost 1 case.
So Barb, you said you've told your kids, but if you don't mind sharing with me, I'd like to know so that we have it recorded. What advice would you give your kids?
I hope a good one, because they all have good marriages.
That's good.
Save Twinkle, who's there. And Krista and Brian have been married for a long time, and they're like brother and sister to me. They just are so comforting and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, do you want to go see her? Blah, blah, blah. And they got can you see it in any of them? That one picture. The one picture had my dad and Edith had German Shepherd.
Oh, very cool.
And a German Shepherd. And as I told you, the little gal across the street from the Munns across from us at the time, and then Carolyn and Edith, and I got away from that. And but I have traveled literally down to Florida, down to Tennessee, down to Texas. Of course, I don't have. Some of that was learning military,
Right.
basic training, and I've had a good life. I've decided, and if you get mad and you can't handle it, go home and read through some of your things that, in fact, you see a Better Homes and Gardens back there.
You have quite a few magazines.
Well, one in it tells about helping yourself and discovering yourself and then going on and doing
Better things.
better things. I still have allergies, not as bad, but we'll take care of you guys tonight. Love to read.
Do you have a favorite book?
Oh, there, if I could find it, if I do find it, over there under a pink Valentine
Uh-huh.
is a little book with something sticking out of it.
Uh-huh.
Would you take the book out?
Kindred Spirits?
Yeah, that's good too, but the other one I'm looking for is the fireman's lady. The fireman's... No, the firefighter's... His brother died, and his brother and his wife were in an accident, and the brother ended up... I want to watch this out. I can do that later too.